Route 66 is not just a road, but a symbol of the great journey that America has taken. Before this legendary road was created, America had witnessed the transformation from the period of migration of generations of pioneers, who traveled through the wilderness and rugged lands in search of opportunity in the West. The first roads they created were mostly uncharted trails, but they were the stepping stones for modern transportation systems that would follow. In the late 19th century, the railroad played a vital role in connecting states and expanding the national economy. However, with the rapid development of the automobile in the early 20th century, the need for a large, safe, and connected road system became more urgent than ever. In 1926, when Cyrus S. Avery and his friends in Oklahoma came up with the idea of a road from Chicago to Los Angeles, they created one of the most important transportation revolutions in American history. But it was not just about building a physical road. Route 66 also carried a broader vision of connecting communities, creating economic development opportunities for areas in the middle of the country that had previously been overlooked. The history of Route 66 is not just about numbers, but also about dreams and tireless efforts to connect people and land. Route 66 is not just a road, but a symbol of the great journey that America has taken. Before this legendary road was created, America had witnessed the transformation from the period of migration of generations of pioneers, who traveled through the wilderness and rugged lands in search of opportunity in the West. The first roads they created were mostly uncharted trails, but they were the stepping stones for modern transportation systems that would follow. In the late 19th century, the railroad played a vital role in connecting states and expanding the national economy. However, with the rapid development of the automobile in the early 20th century, the need for a large, safe, and connected road system became more urgent than ever. In 1926, when Cyrus S. Avery and his friends in Oklahoma came up with the idea of a road from Chicago to Los Angeles, they created one of the most important transportation revolutions in American history. But it was not just about building a physical road. Route 66 also carried a broader vision of connecting communities, creating economic development opportunities for areas in the middle of the country that had previously been overlooked. The history of Route 66 is not just about numbers, but also about dreams and tireless efforts to connect people and land. Route 66 was more than just a road. It was a cultural and economic symbol of America for nearly 6 decades. It passed through thousands of villages and small towns, bringing life to places that had previously been largely forgotten. From roadside eateries and family hotels to auto repair shops and gas stations, all saw growth thanks to the traffic that traveled along the road. By creating a route that was not just a long-distance road trip, but a place where millions of people lived, Route 66 transformed small communities into indispensable stops on the American tourist map. It was the eateries and iconic locations like the Cadillac Ranch in Texas, the Muffler Man in Atlanta, Illinois, and the Wigwam Motels in Arizona that gave Route 66 its vibrancy and appeal. In addition to connecting major metropolitan areas like Chicago and Los Angeles, Route 66 also helped connect rural and urban residents. Local shops sprung up like mushrooms, not only serving the needs of eating and resting, but also becoming the cultural centers of small towns. This is where stories of daily life, hardships, joys, and journeys were all shared. In the 1930s, when the Great Depression was in full swing and America was going through extremely difficult times, Route 66 became the lifeline for hundreds of thousands of people migrating from areas affected by the Dust Bowl, a devastating natural disaster that left millions of people homeless and without land. Poor families had to leave everything behind to head west, looking for new opportunities in California, where they hoped for a better life. Their story was not just a physical journey, but also a journey of faith, hope, and dreams. In John Steinbeck's The Grapes of Wrath, the author clearly described the journey of migrant families on Route 66. And from that time on, the name, Mother Road, was attached to this road. The writings described the hardships they faced, from hunger to harsh weather, all tied to their survival during those days. In fact, it was not just the families who migrated, but the small businesses, restaurants, hotels, and gas stations that played a vital role in sustaining the economy along this road during those difficult years. After World War II ended, new roads, new cars, and the prosperity of the American economy opened a golden age for Route 66. No longer just a road for immigrants or people looking for opportunities. It became a symbol of freedom and colorful life. Trips on Route 66 were now not only physical journeys but also spiritual journeys. An opportunity for Americans to experience new things. During this period, Americans began to travel by car more. Families began to take vacations to national parks, big cities, and famous tourist destinations. Route 66 was not only a road connecting cities but also a route of discovery, of new journeys, and of unforgettable memories. Bobby Troupe's famous song, "Get Your Kicks on Route 66", released in 1946, has become part of American culture, etching the image of an endless road, of dreams waiting ahead. But the rapid growth of the United States, along with the advent of modern highways, gradually rendered Route 66 obsolete. Designed for a different era, the road could not handle the increasing demands of automobiles and commercial transportation. Traffic accidents, congestion, and inconveniences created a strong impetus for the creation of the interstate highway system, promoted by President Dwight D. Eisenhower. From the 1950s to the 1970s, highways such as I-40 and I-44 replaced Route 66 on the national map. Restaurants, hotels, and gas stations were left behind, and towns that had thrived on the traffic faced a sharp decline. In 1985, when the last section of Route 66 was replaced, it was officially erased from the national map. But Route 66 never really went away. Lovers of the road still remember it, and preservation organizations work to preserve its history for future generations. Soon after Route 66 was removed from the national road system, a preservation movement was born. Historical groups, travel enthusiasts, and small businesses along the route banded together to restore historic sites, renovate old gas stations, and preserve old signs. The preservation organization helped the road come back to life as a living museum, attracting millions of visitors each year. They not only preserved history, but also made the road a cultural icon, a part of America's heritage. Parts of Route 66 are still drivable today, but they now bear new names as state routes and local roads. But no matter how the road has changed, it will always be associated with the American people's history, resilience, and love of freedom. Although Route 66 was officially removed from the national road system in 1985, it continues to live on in the minds and hearts of Americans. It is not just a road, but an integral part of the country's history, carrying with it memories, stories, and the kind of imprints that only a part of the country like Route 66 can create. Distinctive landscapes, quaint diners, old gas stations, and rows of simple motels have all become an indispensable part of the picture of the mother of roads, Route 66. Although modern highway systems and replacement roads such as I-40, I-44, I-15, and many others have gradually removed parts of Route 66 from the national map, this legendary road has not disappeared. That proves that sometimes, the historical and cultural values that we create will always have a firm place in the hearts of the people, no matter how much time passes. Immediately after being erased from the national system, Route 66 became a living symbol of American heritage, not only because of its importance in the past, but also because of the values it brings to people today. History lovers, those who want to find their roots, or tourists from all over the world, have come to Route 66 not only to travel but also to feel a part of history. To enjoy the simple feelings of a time when vintage cars ran through long stretches of road connecting small towns. This road is no longer simply a main road for travel, but for conservation groups and local people. Route 66 has become a place to preserve memories and stories of the last century. Preservation organizations, volunteer groups, and businesses along the route have come together to create a powerful revival movement. They have protected old signs, restored historic gas stations, and kept old-fashioned diners and hotels alive, all with a common goal: preserving the soul of Route 66. Preserving Route 66 is not just about preserving a road, but preserving a part of the spirit, a part of America's culture. Therefore, those who have been and are doing this are not only preservationists, but also keepers of the flame, people who hold a priceless part of the country's memory. The relics along Route 66, from quaint rest stops to commercial areas, have become living museums where visitors can visit, experience, and learn about a time of challenge and aspiration. And even though modern highways have gradually replaced the old roads, Route 66 continues to live in the hearts of people and in the stories told through many generations. Every time we mention Route 66, we not only remember a road connecting two big cities, Chicago and Los Angeles, but also remember endless journeys. Trips full of hope, dreams reaching far. The small roads of Route 66 are always a part of the history of this country. A part of the heritage. A place where people's stories always live on. Route 66 is not just a road, but a symbol of resilience, freedom and dreams. Every road, every gas station, every restaurant carries within it the stories of those who have passed through. Those who have lived and experienced this road. From its early days of immigrants seeking opportunity to families vacationing in their new cars. Route 66 has seen it all. It is a symbol of change and progress in America, but also a reminder of the traditional values that we should never forget. Today, although Route 66 is no longer a main road, it lives on in people's memories, in the stories told, and in the signs, eateries, and old hotels that people still visit. Every trip on Route 66 today is not just a trip, but a journey into the past, a journey to feel the changes of the country, but also an opportunity to look back at the irreplaceable values, freedom, aspiration, and faith in the future.